Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the parenting program. Of course I am your host, Kung Fu Guy Jeremy, and today we're going to talk about something really important for the parents. We're talking about expectation versus appreciation. And a really great fortune cookie I got a long time ago and advice I've received from several different mentors, but what if you trade expectation, what do you expect somebody else to do? Trade that for appreciation and really just, hey, I appreciate you doing X or Y or Z instead of, why didn't you put the toilet seat down? It's like, oh, hey, thanks for putting the toilet seat down. Instead of, go take out the trash, I really appreciate you taking out the trash when it's done, right? So rather than when we run an expectation, we tend to have this, like, you got to be at this, this, and this. You get this stuff done over here first, then I will give you love and I will give you praise. And if you don't meet the minimum base standard, not exactly the greatest energy at home, right? But I see this a lot in couples, but I also see this in families with their kids, is I expect my kid to do X and Y and Z. Well, what happens with expectation is you begin to put barriers or walls around when you give or when you receive love. Like, oh, I haven't done this and this, I'm not quality, I don't deserve to receive love until I've earned it, right? And that's not really how love works. Just a quick sidebar, there are 4 kind of levels of love or expressions of love. Level 1 would be more like, I'm gonna take before being taken, right? And this is, you see this a lot in early dating. You'll see a lot of really hungry, level 1 masculine, level 1 feminine, they're just out for themselves. And they're gonna get whatever they can from anyone around them. They don't care kind of what it does to anybody else. As long as I got my thing, I'm good. Level 2 is a little bit more refined, and it's, well, it's called horse trading, which has a much older name, but it's like, if you do your part, I'll do my part. And it's like a good business partnership, or it's a good equal relationship, not always a lot of love and passion, but you do your parts, I'll do my parts, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle and we'll make this thing work. But if you're not doing your part, then I'm not gonna do my part, because I don't have to, because you're not doing your part. Do you see how that starts to create a cart and horse sort of thing? And it's like, well, who needs to take leadership to make something happen, or nothing's gonna get done? Right, so level 3 is what we call unconditional. And at this level, your partner's needs are your needs, right? So if Autumn needs something, for me, it's like, that's a mission, I gotta get that accomplished. Her needs are my needs, and I wanna go do those things for her. Now, quick sidebar real fast. Unconditional love really works best when you have 2 people who love to give. When you have one person who loves to give and one who loves to take, a lot of times that leads to an imbalance in energy, and then eventually it leads to resentment, and I'm doing all this stuff for you and you don't do anything for me around the house. And it takes a level 3 energy of, I want to be unconditional, but if everything is always negotiation, it's always like, well, I've got to do X and Y and Z before you'll do like A or B. Eventually you just erode that person who wants to be in that unconditional love. They'll horse trade because it's like all I can get from you. But that relationship a lot of times will fail over time simply because you're not playing at the same energetic level. Does that make sense? And then the 4th level, beyond unconditional, is loving someone even when they hurt you. And this usually is a parent's type of love, because you love your children and there's nothing they can do to like unearn your love, because you're always going to love them, but they also will hurt you at times. And a lot of times in an unhealthy relationship, you can love the other person, but it doesn't mean you maintain that relationship. Love them from a distance, and then you release them so that you can make sure that you're in a solid place and you're taken care of, because you can't give what you don't have. And if you're constantly depleted, a lot of times you'll drop into those lower levels of energy, especially that level 1, take before being taken. So go back now to this idea of trading expectation and appreciation. What happens if you find reasons to give your partners love and encouragement and approval? Like, I love the way you did X or Y. I love the way you look at me in the eyes. That's awesome. High five. And you give your kid a high five. Or you just talk to your wife and, or your spouse, your husband, whatever the case. You say, I love when we talk because you let me get what I'm thinking out before you say anything. I can really tell that you're listening to understand me, not listening just to have your say. And that means so much to me. And I've had those things in the past where I felt judged. I felt like people weren't listening, and they only listened to what I had to say just to be able to throw their own stuff at me. So I just really want you to know, I love the fact that you don't do that you really do listen to me completely, and it just makes me feel so heard, and I just love you so much for that. Right? And if you give that sort of energy to your partner on a regular basis, not once in a blue moon, what do you think they're naturally going to flow back with? Right? If they really are at that level 3 unconditional love and they really are a giver, they're going to be right there with you, and you both are going to have just a huge love for each other, which very easily leads to a passion for each other as well. Okay? So try and look for trading expectation. I expect my kids to say sir and ma'am, versus I appreciate when my kids say sir and ma'am. I expect you to do your chores. I appreciate you getting your chores done. It really means a lot to me. It lets me know I'm being a good dad. It lets me know I'm raising such an amazing son or an amazing daughter. I'm so proud of you. right? When you give those words of affirmation and when you give those words of appreciation, it lights people up because they get it received in a lot of different ways. One last quick sidebar. We did in my martial arts school, we do, students receive awards at the end of class, they get applause and things like that. And we had a family taking a trial program and they all earned their white belts. And part of what they have to do, besides earning their white belts, is they have to do chores. They have to do some self-discipline and they get to create whatever that is that they're gonna do on their own, but we're gonna challenge them. And I had mom and I had dad and I had both the kids do things. And mom did some stuff. And moms usually do like everything and don't really get a lot of credit for it. So here we are and we've got the end of class and I've got 25 people in class and the family comes up in front and mom is standing there and hey, mom did her self-discipline, she did let's give her some applause. And the class started clapping for her and her family's going, yay mom, and all of a sudden she starts to cry and it's like, whoa, I've never seen that response before. But would it be worth knowing what her love language is? Because how does she give love? How does she receive love? And is her family giving her words of appreciation? Are they giving her that, the words of affirmation? Are they giving her that appreciation? They say, hey mom, tonight dinner was amazing. I really love the way you take care of that house. I love the way you take care of us. We feel so loved. Are they giving her that energy? And if they're not, there's gonna be a part of her that's unfulfilled. So I encourage you and I challenge you this next week, look for the people around you that matter to you and tell them. Give them appreciation. Say, I really love the way you do this, right? It's one of our magic phrases, number 16, what I like about you is. You can even add in more power and say, what I love about you is the way you ... Does that make sense? That's why it's useful to have magic phrases and have little scripts in your head, but ways to remind yourself how to play the game of life at a higher level, the game of love and the game of parenting at a higher level. So this is something for you, ladies and gentlemen, to think about and go play with. And that's it. I'll see you when I see you. Make it a fantastic day.